Hey everybody, this is Tom with the Board Gamer. Today we're going to do a quick overview and review for this game. For the full how-to, click the link in the description or the banner above. Let's get into it. Jisogi Anime Studios is a 1 to 4 player game for ages 14 and up, and with an average gameplay length of 90 to 120 minutes. Published by Esper Game Studios. The basic overview of Jisogi has players going through 3 phases of play. In the production phase, players will use staff members to collect benefits from matching locations in order to create scripts. Players will need to collect a setting, plot, and twist, along with art in hopes of matching one of the trending animes in order to gain high popularity to then gain money and reputation. Players will also want to hire and or promote staff in order to gain additional workers and or bonuses based on the workers' abilities and preferences. In the release phase, players will select a trending anime with at least one of the matching genres and score based on scripts, art, and other bonuses. And finally, the upkeep phase will have players receiving rewards for merchandise, paying back loans, paying employees, and refreshing the board and deck to start the next round. Continue for 4 rounds and the player with the highest reputation wins. Jisogi Anime Studio Tycoon popped up on my feed thanks to Jay over at Cardboard East. I shared the photos with my partner and she said, yeah, buy it. We did not even look at how to play it or a review. We just saw the art, heard the theme, and decided, yeah, we're going to get it. And I hope it's good. Thankfully, when it arrived, we oohed and awed at the art and dove into the rulebook before fumbling through our first playthrough. After a few more playthroughs, we enjoyed the game more and more. Let me show you some of the game and see if it is something that you too would enjoy. To start, just look at this art. I mean, look at these cards. Just beautiful. You do almost need amazing art for a game based around an art form like anime. I also like the little unique touches added to the player boards that correspond to the vibe of the studios. While we're on the topic of these player boards, the dual layer board makes organizing so much easier and less hazardous than if you just had everything laid out in front of me. Hands tend to be moved quite a bit when playing, and just a little bump can sometimes send things flying. But again, this dual layer board prevents that. Now the trend and opportunity board / strip, I'm not a fan of. I understand the need for them, but they seem a little bit flimsy and don't store well in the box in my opinion. They have a spot to kind of hold the script tiles in a better place, but I feel like they bend too easily. I don't have a solution, but I guess it does work better than having larger boards where these cards could slide off, and better than having nothing. The script tiles though I do like. I also enjoy the different flavor text / tropes that tend to happen in these different genres of anime. I think these tiles alone would be good for a separate game where you make a short story based on prompts on tiles, or some improv style exercise. Whenever we play the game and we release an anime, we give a couple sentences to, give a general overview of the anime that we're releasing. For instance, with this script and space opera as the trend, we will say that this anime is set in a historical fantasy that is shaken up by an alien ship crashing into an isolated village where some of the aliens survived. But we find out through the season a cult is behind the crash and these aliens might not be as alien as they appear. These tropes are great and spot on for many different types of anime and really bridge the theme and the components together. Jisogi Anime Studio Tycoon is a tycoon style game, so it's not for the faint of heart. But I do not think it is as difficult as the name Tycoon might make you feel it is. Yes, worker locations are restricted, and yes, you have to take on debt to really get anything done. But you can hire more staff to gain 2 more workers, and you can always pay back your loans. I will say the rulebook is probably a bit more difficult to navigate than the game itself. I've noticed a pattern in recent rulebooks that try to let you know the type of game you are playing instead of just showing or telling you how to play, which is great to have the explanation. I love examples and I think they should be used, but I felt this rulebook was giving me the information without telling me what to do with that information until later on in the book. It felt more like a story or a guide versus an action-based rulebook. Because of this structure, Some nuances were glossed over, which led to some confusion. But once you understand the iconography, which is done very well, and use your player aid, the issue will dwindle and the game will become much easier to understand and play. Jisogi is a tycoon style game, and you need to strategize to get good results at the end of the game. Not only is it a tycoon style game, but it is only 4 rounds long, making every turn count. And although taking on debt is inevitable, it can be a good thing. It is especially good early on to help you improve your staff so you can do more at each location. Plus, a number of staff cards have benefits that further improve these action locations. The luck only comes in when the cards and the tiles are drawn. For the most part, you can start your plan with everything that is set up, but when new cards and tiles are revealed, you can adjust your strategy here and there. I can confidently say Jisogi is a strategy game where you can get lucky, but relying purely on luck will not get you far in this game. The replay value of Jisogi Anime Studio Tycoon, for me, ranks pretty high. I really enjoy a strategy game that is somewhat easy to pick up and play. The fact that it can be explained and played in a relatively short time, using simple concepts, makes it easier to bring to new players, which I really appreciate because I will play a game multiple times and teach it to others before I create a video. This allows the people I teach to craft their own strategy when we play, without me having to guide gameplay. The complexity comes in when you, as the player, decide how to strategize, and the small bits of randomness or luck the deck provides, to make it so there is not just one strategy that always wins. Some decks and games give you hundreds of cards in hopes you will replay the game until you end up using all of them. But with enough diversity and balance, a 50+ deck like Jisogi has is more than enough. If you like strategy games, this is one you should try. If you also like anime, this might be one you will want to continue to try. The theme of Jisogi Anime Studio Tycoon is an interesting one. I want to say it's about anime, but it really only has anime tropes with no name brand attachments. I want to say it's about running a small business, where managing staff and money are crucial to succeed. But in truth, I think this is a tongue-in-cheek look behind the curtain of an overworked and underappreciated form of media. And much like the media that is produced, I was pulled in by the beautiful art and the story of how it's all done. And just like an anime I enjoyed, I already want another season of Jisogi Anime Studio Tycoon. But sequels are always difficult to produce and take a lot of time. So for now, I will enjoy the theme, chuckle at the dead inside employees, and continue playing Jisogi. Now that being said, as I was writing this, Esper Game Studios recently released a free DLC called Pitch Room, which is a party game style where the players can pitch an anime based on script tiles given to them and make for a fun collaborative narrative. We sort of did that when we played the main game, where each of us would give a quick 3 to 5 sentence rundown what our anime was when we released it. But this game mode lets you vote on them and continue on from there. This board gamer says, although Jisogi Anime Studio Tycoons is not about a specific anime, the tropes always led back to an anime I enjoyed. And just like anime, this game was a visual feast. Not boring. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified about new videos. If you're bored now, click this for more games.